What up, this Mongo? So, you got the match. It is the Fiend versus Goldberg. All right, I didn't expect this. Completely didn't expect this. I didn't think they would ever. I didn't think they wanted Goldberg to be in a match like this. Mainly because I thought they might want to give him an easy win. Um, I'm not so sure this is a win. I'm not sure this is a win at all. Now, I want to discuss in this video not only the match itself, how long it's going to be, whether it's going to be interesting or not, whether it's going to be fun or not, or whatever. For starters, I think the match will be fun. I think it's going to be a fun match. The Bray Wyatt is not a technical wrestler. He is not about to do a bunch of fucking arm drags. He is not about to give you a 5-star classic with over the top rope, hurricanranas, and all that shit. He is not about to do that. But he is about to go in there and play the hell out of this character and work the storyline of the match, whatever the storyline of the match ends up being. Goldberg is also not any sort of he's not the physical marvel he used to be. He is not the proficient specialist. He's not going to go in there and put a guy in a headlock and toss him to the ropes, drop down, do a toe hold. That's not about to happen. This is about to be two brutes banging against each other for a full 6 minutes, and then the match is going to end. So, for starters, I'm surprised. I'm kind of glad Wyatt got this match. He needs more wins to cement his legacy. And Bray Wyatt is a guy who, his career has kind of been all about, well, he loses a lot. He loses a lot. He loses a lot. And he could very well lose this match, depending on the situation what they want to go through at WrestleMania, but we'll get there. But the general idea is that Wyatt lost a lot of matches early. For starters, wins and losses don't really matter that much. I could do another video on that some other time. We'll get into why wins and losses don't matter that much. But these sorts of things are not really relevant. But it's something that people like to talk about, that Bray Wyatt loses a lot. But now that Bray Wyatt is winning, even though he's still kind of lost to Seth Rollins, but now that he's winning, he's pretty much beating people. He needed the tentpole victory, the one win that kind of matters more than all the other wins. And a Goldberg victory could be that match. It could be the match where, hey, Wyatt is our guy for the future, and we're going to put him over Goldberg, who still has an incredible amount of value. Believe it or not, people actually do want to still see Bill Goldberg. He is still a powerful attraction. I'm sure they break him out for the Saudi shows because of that, because he is a huge attraction, and people are still interested in seeing him wrestle, or seeing him hit people. So, which is pretty much all he does. I mean, as far as wrestling is concerned, you're never going to accuse Bill Goldberg of having a wrestling match. Everything is at the most bumper cars. At the most is human bumper cars, roller derby. It's like two monster trucks. That's the exciting thing about him. Everybody doesn't have to be Ricky Steamboat. Wrestling can be two big guys banging against each other sometimes. Pause. But two big guys hitting each other a lot, hitting each other really hard, throwing potatoes and knocking each other out. And it can be that too. So Bray Wyatt needs a tentpole victory. And even though Goldberg is still years over his prime, this would be a good tentpole victory for him to be able to tell people, hey, I wrestled Bill Goldberg and I won. And of course, it'd be a pretty good tentpole victory, considering he has to wrestle at WrestleMania, and it helps him put some steam on him for WrestleMania. Goldberg doesn't need to win this match. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He's already a superstar. He's not going to lose anything. His drawing power is not going to be diminished. If his drawing power wasn't diminished from the debacle with Undertaker in Saudi Arabia, then nothing can really diminish it. So Goldberg is a guy who can take a loss. He can bounce back from a loss pretty easily. They could just do what they did the last time Goldberg had a flub, where they just put him in there with someone small, and he spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, end of story. And this is what I expected this match to be. I expected this match to be somebody who's not going to get a lot of offense, or somebody who it doesn't matter if they get humiliated or not. But it ended up being somebody who actually matters. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So there's going to be a lot of talk about whether Goldberg wins or not. So a lot of people, most notably some wrestling journalists, have said, well, Goldberg wrestled Kevin Owens, Fastlane 2017, for the Universal title, and Goldberg won the match. They forget, of course, that Goldberg had a little bit of help winning that match. There was some distractions and all that stuff, and it led to Goldberg versus Lesnar, which is the match we all knew was going to happen anyway. But they tied it into a clip of Bill Goldberg saying that he wants to wrestle Roman Reigns. And they think maybe Goldberg wants to carry the title into WrestleMania to lose the title to Roman Reigns. So that means that the Fiend would have to lose the title. That's a big old question mark. Because does Roman gain anything from beating the Fiend versus beating Goldberg? Obviously, beating Goldberg is a bigger accolade than beating the Fiend. The Fiend is fairly new. And he's already been beaten, so it's not like the Fiend is unstoppable and unbeatable. He's already lost. He lost the Hell in a Cell match to Seth Rollins. So, but he hasn't been pinned. So, it's a very different dynamic here. But I think they could still do Goldberg versus Reigns without the title. You can still do that without the title. You don't need to have the title for Goldberg versus Reigns. So, but if you do that, then what do you do with the Fiend? Who does he wrestle at WrestleMania if Goldberg is wrestling Roman Reigns? Now that's the question. Maybe, just maybe. Well, there was some teasing about Kane. There's some teasing that Kane versus the Fiend was going to take place at Saudi Arabia. I bought into that because right after I saw it, Kane was on my TV on Smackdown. So I kind of bought into the idea of Kane versus the Fiend in Saudi Arabia. And now that that's not happening, maybe they could push the Fiend and Kane to WrestleMania. I'm not a fan of that because mainly because I'm okay with it at Saudi Arabia because, again, those shows are mostly non-canon. A lot of stuff that happened on that show will not matter. It's a lot of those matches are a foregone conclusion. This should be one of them. It should just be a foregone conclusion that the Fiend is going to win. But there's some, I guess, a 5% chance that Goldberg can win this match, just because they might want to do Goldberg versus Reigns at WrestleMania, which again they can still do without the title. They can also do the Fiend and Roman Reigns without the title. In other words, the title doesn't really matter when it comes to the Fiend, and maybe they're not really doing themselves a disservice with the Fiend having the title. Who knows? But it's an interesting story. As I sit and think right now, what's going to end up happening is maybe you'll have the Fiend doing some promos. He'll actually do the promo segments, and maybe they'll do things with Goldberg's family. Probably not. That would make it fun if they were doing vignettes starring Bill Goldberg's son. Kind of like he did with The Miz, where he's kind of haunting Goldberg's son. And well, let's back up a minute, because I saw a lot of people also saying that it's unfair that Goldberg gets a rematch for the title because he never got a rematch after he lost to Brock Lesnar, and that was the reason why they set this match up, is that Goldberg wants to have this match in Saudi Arabia, and he never got a rematch for his Universal title. And then they say, well, Kevin Owens didn't get a rematch, which I don't think he did. I don't think Kevin Owens got a rematch. Kevin Owens is on the other brand now, so it doesn't matter. And a lot of people say Finn Balor didn't get a rematch. Look, Finn Balor did get his rematch. I don't understand why people don't remember that. Finn Balor wrestled Roman Reigns for the Universal title on Raw and lost. That was his rematch. And they said it clearly that Finn Balor never got a rematch. That's why he was in that match. And it was one-on-one, and Finn Balor lost. What episode of Raw? I have no idea. I don't remember. But I do remember that segment. I do remember that conversation because Roman Reigns had just beaten Brock Lesnar for the title. So I remember that pretty clear. So a lot of people seem to think that Goldberg's going to win the title back. I don't think so. I think the Fiend is just going to win this match. Goldberg's going to go out there to do the honors. It's going to be interesting. They'll probably do that red light bullshit. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they won't buy into that red light bullshit. And it'll be fun. For me, it'll be fun. I'm not expecting much out of it. I don't expect any cool wrestling moves out of either one of these guys. I don't expect the Fiend to no-sell everything. I expect him to get speared, get jackhammered, and kick out, and then go into his offense. So this match is going to be all of 3 or 4 minutes. And that's going to be fine, you know. And to me, that's fine. I don't need more than that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a car crash. Look, sometimes something can be so bad it's good, or so bad it's interesting. Goldberg and Undertaker was not that. Even though sometimes I fuck around and say that it was a great match. But, you know, watching two old guys drop each other on their head is not fun. But Wyatt wrestles a fairly safe offensive style. Outside of the body block that he does and the Sister Abigail, he doesn't really do a lot of super high impact moves that can knock Goldberg unconscious. He doesn't do anything where Goldberg has to stand and wait for him to jump on him or anything like that. So it's pretty simple stuff. Goldberg wrestles a simple style. Spears, jackhammers. You know, he might do a leg brace or something like that. The only thing that they could fuck this match up is if they try to do too much, which is what they did with Undertaker and Goldberg. They tried to do too much. They tried to give the fans more than what the fans were expecting. You know, they tried to subvert expectations. They tried to give the fans a 10-minute match when the match should have been 4 minutes. And this match, they need to get it right. This match needs to be a flawless 4 to 5 minute match. If it go longer than 6 minutes, it's probably going to be an absolute abortion. But I can see that they might want to put some heat on the Fiend, give Goldberg a comeback. You know, I can see them wanting to do that. But you can do that pretty fast. You can do that in 6 to 7 minutes. You can have the Fiend hit him with some quick stuff, get Goldberg reeling. You know, the Goldberg head shake, which is like the extent of his selling, is that he just kind of shakes his head and like I need to get the collarbone loose. Gotta get the collarbone loose. You know, like that's the extent of his selling prowess is him shaking his bald head. And the Fiend is probably not gonna sell that much at all. But let's say that the Fiend loses. Let's say Fiend loses. We're gonna do Goldberg, Reigns for the title. Would I be mad about that? No. Look, at this point, the Universal title is it's an attraction championship. I mean, all championships are attraction championships, you know, or quote unquote props. But the Universal title is just that. It's another belt. It doesn't even. They're piling, I guess you could say, names onto the title, just so they can be like, oh, look at the lineage. It's been held by Goldberg and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and you know, the lineage is not bad. You know, it's not terrible, but you know, Goldberg was only the champion for a month, and before that, it was on Kevin Owens. Why the hell did Kevin Owens ever have it? Makes no sense to me, especially since I don't remember much of him being the champion, because he was, you know, playing fuck around with Chris Jericho. So I really didn't understand why he was the champion in the first place. But, you know, a lot of people felt cheated and fucked over that Kevin Owens lost the title. But I don't have the the emotional attachment to Kevin Owens that other people have. You know, I really don't care that much about Kevin Owens. So for him losing the title didn't bother me at all because I didn't see the reason why he had it. I'm not a guy that followed him. Like I've seen him in ROH, but I wasn't like I'm not a super fan of every indie darling that WWE signs to a contract. And Kevin Owens just never did it for me. I don't care. So ultimately, it's okay. This match is okay. It's not going to be great. You know, it could be great though. It could be great in a way that it's not Flair, Steamboat, 2 out of 3 falls. You know, it could be great in a different way. And matches can be that. You can have great short matches. There's a way to do it. You know, Lesnar and Goldberg have done it. Lesnar does it all the time, actually, with these fantastic short matches that tell a complete story in 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You know, where the babyface gets their hope spot in, and Lesnar crushes out the gate. Then, for a short amount of time, maybe a minute or two, the babyface gets their hope spot. Brock crushes the hope spot, locks in a Kimura or F5, match is over. That's all you need. That's complete storytelling, okay? This match could be the same way. And it might be better for the Fiend if they have to keep this match short. It absolutely must be made short. I do not understand. I cannot understand the concept of this match being longer than 6 minutes. I don't know why it would be. Okay. We need to just wrap our brains around the fact that this match does not need to be 10 minutes. It does not even really need to be 6 minutes. Everything they need to do needs to be done in 4 minutes or less, if we're being honest. You know, including entrances. I want to see the cool entrances. Give me the cool entrances. Give me the cool stare down. But that's it. Let the young guy go over. Let the old guy go home. And then say Goldberg will want to have one more match. That, he doesn't want to go out on his back. He want to have one more match. And he want to have one more match with the big dog. He want to have one more match with Roman Reigns. And this is going to be his retirement match. This is his final request. Roman Reigns, Goldberg, at WrestleMania. Then have the Fiend wrestle literally anybody else on the card. Perhaps even Kofi, because maybe New Day lose the tag team title, which they probably will. And then you could just do Kofi versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. But they probably won't do that because they probably don't want to push Kofi. So, but this match is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. Sit back and enjoy it. Don't think too much about it. If you walk in there thinking it's going to be some Flair Steamboat shit, that's the only way you can be mad. And if you've been watching wrestling for any decent amount of time, you know 2 things. Bray Wyatt is not an endurance guy. He's not going to give you 20 minutes of anything. And Goldberg is not technically proficient enough to wrestle a 30-minute match. When Goldberg's streak ended, and they started having him do longer matches, when he was the champion, rather, and then his streak ended, they had him start doing longer matches. It didn't work. It didn't have the same punch. It just does not go. The Goldberg experience is a 5 or 6 minute experience. It's quick. You get in there and you get out. So that's what they need to do. And I know I said that 100 times. I probably repeated myself a lot, but it can't be said enough that they need to get this shit done and get it done quick. All right, like, share, and subscribe. If you hate either one of these guys, that's fine. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Goldberg's got it? Goldberg versus Reigns for the title, Fiend versus Reigns for the title, or do you think these matches happen without the title and the Fiend maybe wrestle somebody else? Maybe they go back to Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan puts his career on the line or something. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.